We started Chrysalix Energy Venture Capital in Vancouver in 2001. At that time, most people in clean tech were focused on fuel cells, hydrogen, solar, wind, biofuels. It was a period where people really pushed technologies in the hands of early adopter customers who were willing to pay a premium for clean. That has actually evolved over the 13 years that we have been in this game. We now have seen in the past decade the maturing of technology where they can bring cost reduction, energy savings and improvement of the environmental footprint to large industries that are in transition. And in a world that is moving from 7 to 9 billion people by 2050, that is really where we see an enormous opportunity for investments. There's another element, and that is really interesting for investors. With this evolution of the term clean tech, we actually have seen the total addressable market for investors go from maybe a few hundred billion to 3 to 4 trillion, while clean tech is penetrating in the core business of large industries like oil and gas, mining, power and utilities, and so on. Why is this opportunity so big? Because the world needs to rely on cheap energy. We are on our way to 9 billion people by 2050. Most of these people want a life like you and me, with just renewables. Even in the most aggressive growth scenario, that's impossible. So we will go through a transition period, and in that transition period we will still see hydrocarbons take an enormous part of the market. We need to ensure that those hydrocarbons are much cleaner and that we get more out of a barrel of oil. That in total is a terrific opportunity for investors. If I look at what has happened on the public markets last year, we saw the Winterhill index that was up by 52%. We see that large companies like GE and Siemens now have reported more than 25 billion in clean tech. And then we see poster childs emerging like Nest or Tesla or Solar City. I personally expect that in the years to come, investors will also flock back to early-stage VC investments in renewable energy. So the goal at Chrysalix is, of course, number one, make money for our investors. How do we do that? A, we source exceptional breakthrough technologies. B, we work with the small companies hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder to guarantee their success. And C, we are a matchmaker between these small companies and the large industries that need these technologies in order to remain a Fortune 500 company in the future. We are trying to build win-win-win situations for small companies, for large companies, and the society at large.